Well, once again, Charlottesville is in the news because Trump just can't keep his mouth shut. The guy, he's not equipped to be president. Just because he was like cutting deals with Democrats recently, and don't believe that any of that, none of that might even happen. He could just be talking shit. That's what Trump does. He just talks shit. So he's talking about Charlottesville again in the worst way. He doesn't get it. He reminds me of somebody's racist grandfather. That's what he's like. And, it's upsetting. I can't believe that this guy is our president. He's done nothing for our country. The best thing that could happen, honestly, is that, I don't want to sound like Ann Coulter, but that Trump gets impeached. He's not doing anything good, and it's all just negative. He can't keep it together because he's a fucktard, I mean, what do you want me to say? And then on CNN, they're talking about this, that Trump's talking shit again, and they're replaying the scene of the white supremacists, the neo-Nazis walking around with the torches, chanting, "Jews will not replace us." And once again, I'm thinking the same thing that I thought when I saw it the first time. Why in the world do you think the Jews would want to replace you all? It just doesn't make any sense. It lacks logic. Like, out of every group on this planet, every group of human beings on this planet, the Jews hold more Nobel Prizes than any other. And you think that they want to replace you? I don't think so. I don't think so. That would be a step down. Why would you be worried about that? And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about people being worried. That's why I'm an NRA member. I got shotguns to hunt with, but I don't have any handguns. Why would I need a handgun? I don't feel like I need to protect myself. That's what handguns are for. I just remember when that was going on, like they did that interview of the one of the organizers, the main organizer, and he was so tough. He was so tough in the hotel room, pulling out like his gun, like 9mm, throwing it on the ground, pulling out, he's got a gun on it every inch of his body. He was holding like 9 handguns or something, throwing it on the bed like he's a tough guy. But then 2 days later, the police are looking for him, and he's crying like a little baby. Well, I just wanted to go out and protest. What a pussy. What a fucking pussy. Why? What does it matter with you people? What are you so afraid of? You're afraid of the color of someone's skin, or like if their hair is not straight? What's the matter with you? Do you know how much DNA it takes to make somebody's skin dark or light? It's nothing. Or curly hair straight? It's nothing. We're all the same. We're all born the same. You're talking about cultural differences. That's it. It's nothing. And they walk around chanting, "Jews will not replace us." They don't trust me. Trust me. They don't want to replace you. Nobody wants to replace you. Okay? What's your problem? Were you so freaked out because we had a president that had color? Who cares? He did fine. We had slow growth. He did fine. He did, What do you want? He did 2 terms. But instead, you had to vote the moron in office? And that's what we're talking about. We have a president that isn't equipped to be president. What he's equipped to be is a reality show guy and say outrageous things. But to have a president that just goes around saying outrageous shit all the time, offending people, he has no dignity. He doesn't care. He could care less. He's just like, whatever. This whole deal with the last 2 weeks and him hanging around with the Democrats, having dinner with him, and yeah, we'll do this and we'll do that, and who knows if it'll even happen. It's all bullshit. He's worried because of the Russian investigation, which is going on. It's not going to stop. You understand this? That our president has been investigated even when he wasn't our president. What do you think? You think it's fake news? It's not. Republicans are investigating the president. It's not fake news. I'll tell you something. From talking to a lot of Trump supporters, I have found that none of them will really watch the news. They hear bits and pieces. They don't want to face the fact that we have a president that has no policies and just says stuff according to how he thinks the people are going to react. And he's worried about his base, his supporters, you know, the 35%, which how many of that 35% is that racist group? I'm not really quite sure. I think quite a few. I mean, it just boggles my mind. The whole thing boggles my mind. Listen, Hillary wasn't any gem, sure. I get why somebody wouldn't like her, but out of the two candidates, which one would be appropriate for president? Hillary. She wouldn't have offended Germany, Canada, Australia. You know, she wouldn't be cozying up to the oligarchs and the tyrants of the world. Trump and anybody that is, you know, a Republican, you have to realize Trump's destroying that party. That's just how it is. I voted for Ron Reagan. I voted for a bunch of Republicans. I would be hard pressed to vote for a Republican at this point. I'll tell you that. The way that they've behaved while this whole thing's been going on, it's like, grit your teeth and bear it. Let's just get either done with this or get him out of there. And that's what the Republican Party should have done in the first place. But instead, like fucking Paul Ryan, I'm not going to vote for him, and then he votes for him. Talk about two-faced. There were a bunch of Republican senators that said, well, I'm not going to vote for him, and then I voted for him. He's the candidate. I voted for him. You should have just bit the bullet, let a Democrat go in for 4 years, and then plan, it would have been better for the country. And that's a problem is many of these Republican senators, they really aren't going to do what's good for the country. It doesn't seem like it until they have to, which is absurd. How many months has this been going on? It's not going to get better, okay? I'm sorry to be the gloomy Gus, but it's not going to get better. You can't have a president that is like so about dividing the country, and that's what we're talking about. We shouldn't have a president that condones racism. Yes, racism exists. I know that, but you don't want somebody in charge of the country that's saying, yeah, it's good. It's, that's pretty much what he's saying. He should be speaking up, saying it stinks and these people are horrible. You can't compare the two. But he seems to be able to. They had torches. They were marching around with torches, spouting shit off. What did you expect? Nobody to do anything? You can't compare the two. Jews will not replace us. You really think that Jews want to replace you, don't you? I mean, see, I could go off here and say some really horrible things, but I won't. But trust me, there's nobody wants to replace you. Especially the Jews. The group with the most Nobel Prizes of any other group of human beings, you think wants to go lower and replace you. It's absurd. It's almost funny. It's just appalling. It's appalling. As a gun owner, knowing that these people exist, that are so afraid that they got to have the handguns and everything. We should have the right to bear arms. If I wanted to get a handgun, yeah, I should have the right to get a handgun. But when you know that there's people that exist that are so afraid, you're so worried about somebody's skin color or their religion. you know, it's a problem with gray matter is what it is. It's a problem with gray matter. These people don't get it. They can't. It's impossible for them to get it. Maybe it isn't about intelligence. Maybe it's like something happened to them when they were young. They were influenced improperly. And you know, like, what are you fucking afraid of? Jews will not replace you. They don't want to replace you. Nobody wants to replace you. Crawl back under your rocks. And Trump, you should do the same thing. You can't keep your mouth shut, dude. This guy cannot shut up. He can't. He's not qualified to be president. He's not. And you racist people that think Trump is so great, what's he really done for you? You should want him impeached like Ann Coulter. She's right. He should be impeached. Thank you, Ann Coulter. Thank you. One of the crappiest people on TV says one of the wisest things. Trump should be impeached. He should. He should. Somebody should be doing something about this. It's gone on too long. He's not going to change. He's horrible for our country. It's absolutely horrendous. And you people that were chanting Jews will not replace us, they really don't want to replace you. Trust me.